This is my interactive module planning template. As you can see, my lesson topic for my module is animals and agriculture. And as a background over the module, students will learn a basic overview of the most popular farm animals, and then they will be challenged on their prior knowledge as well as the ending knowledge after they have completed the lesson. And right here are the two Indiana standards that this module covers. And my target audience is primarily for first graders, as that's what the standards go for. And with the students being so young, it's important that I acknowledge their age as well as their short attention spans. And with them being so young, it's very important that I make the material appropriate for their levels of reading as well as their age. I'll be using my class website as made in the Weebly badge for this module. And I only have two objectives that cover this module. My first objective is the students will be given a picture and a word box of the animals, and with that, students will be able to match all the names to the corresponding pictures correctly. And so my main point is the students will be given 10 pictures of different animals, along with 10 different names of the animals, which they must match up correctly. And so for the instructional planning, it will be interactive. And the students will learn about 10 of the basic farm animals, which I have listed up 10 in this area here. And they will learn specific characteristics in which they can identify each of them. So that includes different things in which will be explained later in the lesson. And with this information, they'll be able to complete the activity. For technology integration for this part, they would have a survey, and they will also be using the class website. So for an assessment for this part, the students will take a quiz that will not be counted for the grade that will help in assessing their prior knowledge of the animals. For the first subpoint for this objective, students will be comparing differences in animals such as their size, color, and patterns. And so to do this, the students will watch a video that I've created and then start comparing differences. And this is passive learning. And to do this, they will be watching the video, like I had said before, and they will also be using other resources on the website. And then after doing this, the students will take a small quiz that again will not be counted in their grade. That is on the website, and it is just mainly for practice. For the second part of this objective, students will then narrow down options of the animals. So like, for example, goats and sheep look similar, so they'll go through a process to help narrow down that selection. And the students who use the website and the different resources to help them in doing this, and that's also passive learning. And the technology used will be the video, a chart that will be on the website, as well as pictures. And for assessments, the students will be tested on all the material after the lesson is completed. And lastly, the third subpoint is the students will then choose the correct picture to fit the name. So, for example, a picture of a pig would be matched with the word pig. So the students will use the website as well as the other resources on the website to choose the correct animal. And they'll be using the video, the chart, pictures on website, other resources, etc. And the students will be tested on all of the material, like I said before, after the lesson is over. So moving on to my second objective, given a small list of animals, students will be able to choose the animal that doesn't belong with no mistakes. So my main point is the students will be given a list, or 5 lists, that include 5 different animals in which they will have to use the characteristics that they learn about in this lesson to then choose the animal that doesn't fit in the list. So as far as instructional planning, the students will watch a video again that describes the physical characteristics of animals as well as complete an activity that will better their understanding of the nutrition needs, housing, and origin, etc. of all the different animals that were listed above in the prior objective. And for technology, they will get in a video, and then they will complete an activity that will be found on the website. And for assessment, they will again take a pre-assessment to see how much they already know about this material, and then we'll move on from there. So for the first subpoint for this objective, the students will differentiate between physical appearances of the animals. So the students will use the video that shows all the animals, as well as a chart that will be provided on the website to help them in the process, and that's passive learning. And this whole objective will be interactive, by the way, too. But for this first subpoint, they will again use the video and the chart, and the students will go through an activity in which they match the animal's name with the size, number of legs, if it flies or not, so like if it has wings, and other different characteristics. And this small quiz will not be counted for a grade. It will just be for practice. For my second point for the second objective, the students will look at the information regarding their animals' habitats to help eliminate answer choices. So the students will watch a video on habitats in which they will learn about the shelter, what they eat, drink, etc. And they will follow along with a worksheet that is found on the website in which they can draw what they think the animal's habitats look like. And to use this, they will be using, again, a video as well as other resources provided on the website. And again, they'll follow along with the worksheet and draw out, and they will also, at the end of this, take a small quiz to help assess if they learned what habitats go with which animals or not. But this will not be counted for a grade. As my third point, the students will lastly look at the place of origin for the animals, in which they will then choose the animal that doesn't fit. So the students will have to research on their own devices the place of origin of each animal, which will be interactive. And to do this, of course, they will be doing research for their technology integration, and the students will be assessed over all of this at the end. And by the end of this, they should be able to pick the animal that does not fit in the list. And for my resources for developing this content, I will be using websites as well as the material that I've already created for this class that I've used on various apps and websites. And for technology tools and resources, I will use my past badges, like I said before, and I will integrate those in my module.